All right, yes, another cheesy vid. Okay, that's what we specialize in here, or I do. Anyone else that's welcome to make videos that are, polished and not messy, okay, is welcome to do so on the team. It's Nicole from the library. Messy is my brand. I stay on brand, and of course, I'm joined by.
Hi, I'm Roz. I'm also from the library.
All right. So we are talking today about this is your brain on exercise. Now we are expecting some special guests. Hopefully they come through. We are featuring today Jeff Nelson, who is the intramural
Hmm.
sports director. He's also the director of the Raider Center here on the Seminole State College of Florida campus. So we are expecting them to pop in. That him and Jason, information Jason Amfinson, are over in the Raider Center. Hopefully coming in. Like I keep repeating, hopefully because listen, uh, speaking of exercise, I ran across campus several times today trying to get the perfect setup. I wanted to be over there and broadcast from the Raider Center because, hey, that's what we're focusing on today as part of our show. But my laptop wouldn't connect to the internet. Then Jeff didn't have a webcam. And then I was like, well, nobody needs to see me, but we need audio. And there was no audio. So then I ran back over here and ran back over there. So I got exercise
You get your
before
10,000 steps.
yeah, before I'm doing this mental activity. And speaking of steps, Ross, you were saying, because we started, we're talking before we got come on the show and say, okay, going over a couple notes. You mentioned, I mentioned that in a cursory view of the research, which we're going to get into a little bit of that and
Hmm.
show the research process if we were searching for information about how exercise affects the brain and specifically how that connects to academics. But I said, hey, it looks like you don't even need to do like a bunch of like really intense exercise for it to matter. And you mentioned something about steps.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that it reminded me of our conversation reminded me of there's that whole 10,000 steps thing we hear. You're supposed to do 10,000 steps a day for optimal health, and it decreases all these things like cancers and dementia and all this stuff. And it was like one of those things I always heard that you should do, but I never really understood if there was a scientific basis. And not too long ago, I saw a study. I think it was like the JAMA Journal of American Medicine, all that kind of stuff. And they found that that's actually a pretty good target. That 10,000 steps seems to be actual legitimate science. And I kind of did a Google search here before we were talking, and there's tons of different articles that talk about this. And they've even found that doing more than 10,000 steps doesn't really increase your health benefits all that much either. But it was kind of neat to see that actual research was done on that, and they proved that there are health benefits associated with doing this. So that's the kind of evidence we're looking for when we do any research project.
Yes. So I think, and that was important. I thought that was useful because I feel like students are definitely a group of people that have lots to do. And if you're thinking about, oh, well, I should do more exercise because it's going to help me, it's going to make me healthier or help my brain that I use to do schoolwork, you think, I don't have time to do, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have time to do too much. But it's like, no, you can get in on exercise that will positively affect you at like a lower level than maybe you thought.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was a really awesome thing to learn that would help out students. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and all right. So we both have some screen shares up. Now, I'm going to pull up, where is it? Before we get talking, going into some research. Where? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. So once again, we have the Raider Center here on campus. Now, we have Seminole State family across the world. Some people that tune in or watch different videos that are from different countries. They don't even live in Florida, let alone the United States. But if you are an enrolled student and you have access to the Sanford Lake Mary campus, or that's a close location for you to get to, the Raider Center And if you Google Raider Center, you don't even have to put in Seminole State College. You will get to this site. So if you want to know more about the Raider Center and the amenities and the activities and resources that are there, you can just Google Raider Center. And here's their website. It's going to tell you their hours. They do hold different events. So that's another thing to keep in mind, because maybe you don't want to literally go there to work out on the treadmills and that kind of thing. But you can go there if they have like a pickleball tournament, which is apparently something very popular. Okay, I don't know. Has anyone played pickleball? If you've heard of pickleball or played pickleball, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, I've just seen the courts. I don't really know how it works. It looks a lot like tennis, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, it's some kind of version of tennis. And they do have classes at the Raider Center, like guided classes. And even some of these elements, they have like a room with like a screen where you can like participate in it, even with the screens on, and there doesn't even need to be a leader there. It's almost like bot led. It's not a bot.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of like on demand training. Is awesome.
Yes. So that's something that's available to you. And I'm going to do another plug because Ross and I are librarians, right?
Yes,
Ross
I agree.
Yeah, right? We're librarians, so we specialize in research, and we are about to do some research. But one of the other resources on campus, besides the library and librarians, is the Academic Success Center. And we're plugging this today in particular because, okay, Ross, today is March 29th. How many more days until school's over?
How many more days
or the
until
semester's
school
over?
is over? I mean, I don't know how to quantify that. It's like 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. I think
Okay,
it's
so
5
you haven't been
weeks.
counting the days? That's hopeful. I'm glad to hear that.
I think there's 5 weeks left, or 4 weeks after this week. So 4 weeks left, I guess is the answer.
Okay. Well, thank you. That was the long way to get to it. But yes, so besides the library and the librarians, please use this time now to use resources such as the Academic Success Center to help you get your work done. Okay. The Academic Success Center provides tutoring, and they provide writing help. So if you have papers that you're working on, you definitely need to use their resources. There's so many people there that you can do online stuff. I think you can make appointments in person. Okay. So now is the time. Even if you're like an A+ student, don't hesitate even to jump in and get that help to help you further along and like save some time or save some stress. Okay. When you're finishing your work. Because like Ross said, we think we have about 4 weeks left, right? So I don't even know. That's why I had to ask Ross. So yes, so I definitely want to plug the Academic Success Center. We definitely want you all to check that out. And of course, the library. I'm going to go to the library website. Now, Ross, I just got a message that the boys say they're in the stream, but I don't see them in the stream. So I might have to send them a different link. So can I ask you to go ahead and start off? Can we do a preliminary, can you lead a preliminary search on brain, like how exercise affects the brain, and guide that process from our library homepage?
Yeah. Do you want to share my screen? Because I'm also on the library homepage. That will work.
Perfect.
Sure. So if I was looking to start I had a thesis in mind, a research question, maybe what I would want to do is just start with this search box. I'll even make it a little bit bigger, because this is where the magic happens. Right here on this main search box, we can do a lot of stuff. I mean, there's no one right or wrong way to do this research, but this is a strong way to start. And when we start searching, we kind of want to just play a little bit. I'm going to throw out a search and I want to kind of see what happens. So I might try to break my topic into its main ideas, right? So we're talking about, health and exercise and specifically brain, maybe. We'll throw that in there. Now, there's lots of ways to say brain, cognition. There's just lots and lots of ways. And that's part of the fun of searching, right? Is like, how do we put this puzzle together? So part of what I'm doing right now is I just kind of want to see what happens. And when we run a search, we're going to find a lot of stuff. I'm very confident of that. We found like 13,000 articles that have something to do with health and exercise in our brains, right? So as we're looking at these, mostly what we're going to see are articles or books. That's primarily what we're going to find in our results out of those 13,000 things. But you might also find some videos. You might also find images. There's all kinds of different resources in here. But as you're looking at this, that's what the first thing I note is, am I seeing an article or a book? Because they do two different things. If I wanted to read a whole deep dive into how the brain works and how exercise might impact that, a book might be a better choice. That's what this book is. It's a whole book about the brain, the complete mind. But, really what I'm interested in is specifically about, how does exercise impact brain health? Well, this article, that starts to get a little bit closer to what I'm talking about, right? I can see there, but it's specifically looking at how does exercise, how does it impact with multiple sclerosis and stuff? So that might even be too specific for what I'm talking about. And again, that's the puzzle. We're trying to piece this together, with all this evidence. Every time we do a search, we're going to learn a little bit more. So as we're deciding what to look at, maybe I even want to look at this: exercise for cognitive brain health and aging. I'm an aging adult. Maybe I'd be curious as to what they found there. So let's just pick one here. Promoting brain health through exercise and diet in older adults. Sounds kind of interesting. Seems like it's going the direction we're going with our topic. So if I want to learn a little bit more about it, if I click the title of this article, it's going to tell me some of the basic stuff about this article, right? We're going to come back to this in a second. But when we look down here, we can start to see all of this stuff down here is what we'll need to cite this article later, right? We got our authors, we got our title, journal name, all that stuff's going to be important. Regardless of what citation style we're using, every citation style basically uses the same exact information, right? But how do I know that this article is going to really help? I don't really see like a summary or anything like that. I just see a title here. Sometimes you will. Sometimes it will show you a summary and you'll see exactly what you're looking at. But if I wanted to see this article, it tells me right here where I can find it. And if I do that, this will get us to our source, where we can start digging through this and seeing how exactly does exercise impact brain health, And that's what I'm looking for here. Is I'm trying to find evidence that will help me answer my research question. And this is really good, credible scientific stuff. I'm starting to see people show up.
Oh yeah, listen.
Whoa.
Nobody is infallible. I sent the wrong join link to the fellas earlier.
I'll do it every time.
I know, right? I did behind the scenes, had to work it. Hey, but the show must go on and we do it. So, all right. So thank you, Ross, for modeling out the start of that research process. And I do want to mention that let's get the boys in the stream. Come on. We've been waiting for them. I was like, no, I can skip that till later. All right. Sound check. Wait, hold on.
All
right, can you guys unmute?
Yeah, we're here. We're here in the gym. We're here in the Raider Center. We've been here pumping iron and shooting baskets and working out. What have you all been doing? Research? You librarians, you?
I know. We had to start off with our usual stuff, with our expert stuff. So yes, we have information. Jason, he is in the Raider Center that we plugged earlier in the broadcast, and we have Jeff Nelson. It shows no audio. What's going on, Jeff? Can you do something about that?
You're on mute. He's on mute. It's gonna get loud in here because we're in the gym and everyone's hooping.
Ooh.
I might have to mute too.
All right. All right. So we got a taste of that energy going on in the gym. Jeff, what's going on today over at the Raider Center?
Well, so it's Wednesday, so it's open court basketball. So we have a group of about 15 students that are taking turns playing 5v5 games. And then we've got, earlier today was Aikido class. So the Seminole State Aikido Club keeps mats. And so they came in and had their practice and their classes and did their martial arts. And then we've got bunch of people working out too. So it's just a regular busy day. And I can't keep my name tag just too straight.
All right, everyone knows who you are, Jeff.
That's
Okay.
right. My name is on the screen. I'm taking this thing off.
Oh, I found a quiet area. I'm in the fitness center. I'm in the fitness room here at the Raider Center at Seminole State College of Florida on the Sanford Lake Mary campus. And I'm trying to think, to go back to what Ross was talking about with researching and stuff, what keywords would I be using here, Ross? Fitness center, working out, abs of steel, 7-minute abs. How about 6-minute abs?
No, you got to get, how about 5.5?
How about
That's just
4-minute
crazy.
abs?
That's just crazy talk.
Whittling it down. Listen, I think something that's really awesome, and Jeff, you had told me that this was your idea when they were actually building the new Raider Center. You pushed heavily for an amenity that provides privacy and security for students and faculty and staff alike. Can you describe that very special feature of the Raider Center, please?
And I'm walking down to it so I can show everybody too. So what we're talking about is our changing rooms and showers, right? So when I was in undergrad, we had traditional locker rooms in our rec center that I worked in, which meant that if you came in and your professor had their pants down, you had to deal with it and get ready for class. Whereas, as you mentioned, Nicole, here at the Raider Center, my big thing when we were designing the building was single occupancy changing rooms. So we have 5 single occupancy changing rooms and 3 single occupancy showers too.
Jason's about to fall out there. Be careful, Jason. Be careful.
So they're completely private and they're all non-gendered too. So our trans and non-binary students don't have anything to worry about. We don't have to worry about anybody outing themselves or anything like that. So.
Okay.
Just a quick plug. I've been on a stationary bike for 8 seconds.
Jason, be careful. This is exercising is something you have to work yourself up to, right, Jeff? You can't just go in full tilt and doing like the most all at once. You have to work your way up into it and gradually get into it, because your body is a machine and it gets used to a certain amount of work. And if you do too much work too fast, your body's not going to like it, right?
That's right. And we always know when it happens at the start of the semester and with New Year's resolutions, people took a couple weeks in December off and come back, work out too hard, and then you see them limping on Tuesday. You work out too hard on Monday and limp on Tuesday, or not come back for a week. And you say, what happened? Well, I was so sore. I couldn't come back.
Yeah. You don't want that to happen.
Here's one of the examples. So I'm starting off here with, this is a 1,400-pound dumbbell. Okay. And you got to do 47 reps of 3. So I did 3 reps there. Is that even? Is that even, Jeff? Is that how you do it?
Sure. Sets can be whatever number you want. It's all come with a plan.
Barbell.
And that was our big push at the start of the semester too, was encouraging students to set fitness goals. So we have pulse oximeters in the gym so they can get their resting heart rate and their blood oxygen level, and scales. And there's also weight scales in the changing rooms, so people know their baseline and can pick achievable goals and avoid like dangerous diets or fad diets or self-esteem issues that come from not actually knowing. Like maybe you feel a certain way, but you don't actually have the facts to back it up.
Okay. And I'm sorry, where are these, I wasn't concentrating on what you were saying. I was looking at what Jason was doing. Where can students access this? So
we keep the pulse oximeters right in the front of the Raider Center.
Okay.
You can talk to the front desk staff right here behind me. And someday, so in January, we actually, at the start of each term, I should say, we leave them on this little promotionals table that we keep with a little document that explains how to use them and how to set goals and why we do it. And you can actually see on the floor, the scale is right there. So the scale stays out. We've just been putting the pulse oximeters away.
Okay, awesome. And I believe we have a few IDS students watching, students that are in the first year of Flight Path course. So they're watching so they can get some credit for their class. But maybe if any of those students, if you have been to the Raider Center or even stuck your head inside just to take a peek, let us know in the comments. Okay. If you're thinking about it, obviously Jeff and his team are very welcoming. You do have to sign in when you go to the Raider Center. But that's just for the purposes of collecting data, not necessarily like knowing so that we know where you are, like you in particular, you as an individual, but just knowing, okay, how many students came in, or were they juniors, like what year, what level were they, just as a way for us to collect data about like who uses the Rader Center. And I don't know if there's anything else of importance, just to kind of like put people's minds at ease, like, why are they doing this to me? Like, it feels kind of big brothery, but it's for a purpose.
And one of our mission for the building itself is to lower the barrier of entry for students. So we understand that swiping your card to sign in can be tough, but that's the one barrier. And then besides that, everybody, like you mentioned, is welcoming. We have different areas that are easy to use. In the cardio room, all of our blue machines have QR codes that show you how to use them. If you scan it, it takes you to a YouTube tutorial. So anybody that's feeling shy or is over there and doesn't want to walk to the front to ask a staff member for help, then to walk back, can just scan it. So we're all about lowering the barrier of entry, with the one barrier we have being the sign-in, just so we know who's coming in.
And I appreciate these lockers much more, because not only is it like a code here, but you can't stuff me in this locker that easy. So my high school days are behind me with the full vertical freshman, sophomore, junior year. Senior year, there weren't any other big people. I was the bigger one, so and I didn't get stuffed in. But these ones are much smaller and more difficult to stuff in, right, Jeff? I think that was your consideration when you first developed the Rader Center. Is that true?
No, that's one of them. The biggest consideration was to make sure they were free. At other universities, you have to bring your own.
The stuffing of the no, got
no,
it. Got
mostly the money, because again, we're trying to lower the barrier of entry, right? So we want Seminole State students don't have to pay anything to come in, and that includes using the lockers or bringing locks from home or anything like that.
And let's see if one of you gentlemen, if you could head over and kind of show us some areas, like some of that like excellent equipment that students have access to for free, like the machines and I haven't been in the gym in a while, the machines, the eucalyptus machines. What are they called?
Elliptical.
Oh, that's I knew that. I want to just throw in a couple things. Now Ross modeled out the research process briefly at the beginning of the show. We are going to provide links to some resources, and if we have a chance to look at one real quick before the show ends, we will, but we're not going to keep people hanging on too long. But I reviewed some of the literature. I want to point out some of the main reasons that exercise will help your brain in relation to schoolwork is memory improvement. Okay, direct links to there's the eucalyptus machines, memory improvement, which is very important for studying, and that could be a little bit of exercise, moderate. Once again, we don't have to do anything too intense right before a study session or in between incrementally and study sessions. That will help. But your encoding, like actually your processing of data after exercising, and then retention of that like encoding process and like memory of like how you basically processed information, even like long-term, like next day. Okay. So short-term and like basically long-term memory. Okay. The other thing is that exercise, it pumps more blood to your brain and oxygenated blood, and all parts of your body need oxygenated blood. So that's one of the ways that is healthy and helps your brain. Okay. The other thing is that the stress of exercise on your cells, like your neurons and all that, we get into some of those biology terms, which obviously I'm just flitting across the surface here. Okay. It actually helps your stress resistance of your brain cells. Like you can if you work them a little bit like hard, but like not too hard, they actually build up a resistance, kind of like if you're working out your biceps. Okay. I haven't worked out these biceps. I'm not going to show them. If you work out your biceps, the muscle is going to get bigger and stronger. And, then when you go and pick up, Jason Amundsen and try to stuff him into a locker, you're going to be able to do that easier because your muscles have built up. I'm sorry. no one's going to stuff you into a locker. Okay.
You just advocated for that action. You just put it out there. But I did, again, I'm really interested. So like, what would we look for? Are we doing is it fitness? Is it health? Is it wellness? I mean, what kind of keywords can we come up with? Because what we're trying to do is piggyback on what Nicole was saying, is how can physical fitness help your mental right? Mental stability and mental, how can that increase and work together? Because the body is going to operate accordingly, right? So how do we, what do we have? Want to study better?
Well, if you look at some like news articles that pull and synthesize information from in-depth resource studies or research studies rather, you will find them easier to read, where they like take a bite down, like this article from CNN, blah, 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 blah. If you're feeling a bit sluggish today, just 2 minutes of exercise could give your brain a boost, a new study shows. Okay, but if I go to like an actual research study on like basically what CNN has synthesized, it is very hard to read and slug through. So I would say I would recommend to students, if you really want to know more about this, go to some websites that kind of break down the information into easier to chew on bits. And once again, I have all these links collected, so I'm going to post them in the description on the YouTube video. So if anyone's interested in deep diving or looking at some of the things that we use to prepare today and we've talked a little bit about, they'll be there for you. So I may be picking up on some keywords, because once again, a lot of this research is like, it gets really specific. That's what research studies do a lot of the times. They get so ultra niche that you might not be able to figure out how it can help you, Jason, right? Like that's what you're saying. Like you're like, I want to help students find information that can help them. And sometimes you might have to do a little digging, but we know who can help a student if they only just ask. Who? If they're looking for information. Who can help the student?
Oh, the librarians can. I just put one in the chat. Like I would, as you were mentioning, look at the different websites. I would definitely go to like a .gov and see, or maybe even a .org. There's going to be some non-for-profit health organizations there that can help. But yeah, as I'm trying to put this all together, I'm just trying to think of different keywords in health and fitness, and how can wellness and whole wellness and intellectual wellness and the healthy eating, how can all that tie in? And then how do we see the
I'm sorry.
outcome? No, what is it?
I was gonna say we could do a whole separate thing on the eating.
Oh, for sure.
Okay,
Plant-based
this is
health
your brain
information
on
literacy.
vegetables. Okay,
Absolutely.
and also Jeff lend me this. I want to point out, in addition to like memory or recall, and attention span is another thing that comes up in the literature, and we know that we all need help with our attention spans, especially me. Some of the other things that a survey of over almost 30,000 college students, Jeff, reported an increase in time management skills, respect for others, academic performance, sense of belonging. So using the Rader Center and participating in their events, activities, and getting involved there, I mean, that's a segue into something that can improve your life overall as a student here at Seminole State.
Yeah, and that's going to be in addition to team building skills, working with others. Jeff and I were just, so by the way, Jeff is on mute because it's very loud in the gym. But what I'm getting at is, you have to play with others when you're on a team. So there's communication skills involved too. And there's a lot of, Ross knows this from game playing, there's different strategy. What about the rules of the game? If you're out of bounds and you don't realize it, you're out of bounds. So you have to learn and understand the rules, and that could be different in different countries. And that can lead to global, cultural competence and global currency. There's a lot of different, and getting swole. Is that an official word? If we look that up, is that a keyword, Ross? Can you look up swole? Jeff, what are you doing right now? Jeff, you should flex, Jeff. Jeff, you weren't flexing at all there.
Jason, do you know the best way to catch a bear?
Bears beats Battlestar Galactica?
Bear traps.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Did you guys see that? Jeff was kind of trying to flex a little bit. By the way, I just stepped on this scale and it's about 400 pounds off. So there's a big problem with this scale here.
All right. So listen, fellas, if there's anything else you want to point out in the Rader Center, I'm trying to, like, usually Jason's up here in the office and he does our IDS credit link. And I'm like, oh, I gotta do it now. So I'm trying to figure that out.
Are there students in the chat? We could just Nicole, you could just go into Rader Connect. If they've already RSVP'd, you could just say yes to them, or they can text us at our text line. And maybe Ross, you could drop that in and help Nicole out. Maybe that's available, and they could just we'll do it after.
Okay, Ivan says that the Rader Center is pretty cool.
Yay!
All right.
I think we're going to try to get like a pickleball going. Jeff, can you explain pickleball? We're going to try to do that.
Yes, please.
Sure.
Explain pickleball for us.
Yeah, so pickleball is like a hybrid of like table tennis and regular tennis. So it's played on a smaller court than regular tennis, usually played 2v2, and you use a wooden paddle and a hard plastic ball that you knock over a short net. And we have the capabilities to set it up on the court in the Raider Center. So on Friday mornings, we usually put up a pickleball court and let people come and play. And it's a pretty popular sport with older populations, but it's really picked up steam with the younger generation too. I've heard students be like, "Oh yeah, pickleball, I learned about it from TikTok." So there you go. I don't have TikTok, but pickleball's on it.
Thank you, Jeff. We're never going to play it, but I think it's very important to find out, if you're trying to see what the connection is with health and wellness with your studies and how you can actually get swole in your muscles and in your brain. How would you research that? How would you start? Where would you look? What sources would you use to help find that information that you need to succeed? And that's kind of what we're talking about here today. So the librarians are available for research appointments, or just stop by any of the libraries at Seminole State. The librarians will be happy to help you. But I think it's interesting and fascinating, especially when there's new, there's punching bags in here, there's weightlifting equipment, there's bikes, there's new things that are coming out. And earlier today at Lunchbury, we had some intellectual wellness games that were kind of stimulating, and that was getting everybody kind of going, "Oh, what is this? What is that?" I just think every time you're going to encounter something new that you're not a master of, then when you master it, that's going to help contribute to lifelong learning. So, oh, there it is. Oh, there's a punching bag. Oh, great. Oh, and standing next to it is Jeff. There you go.
It's me.
Hi, Jeff.
I have to do that without looking and missed. So there you go.
Okay. All right. So I think we're going to sign off from the Raider Center here. Is there anything else, Nicole?
All right. No, thanks, guys. I'm glad you're having fun over there. Jason, are you going to get back on the eucalyptus machine?
Yeah, it's a eucalyptus machine. I'm going to get back, but I had a problem with it. I was winded just by sitting on the bike. So I got off of it and I feel much better. So,
fellas, wait, don't go yet. Can I show you this cheesy video really quick? It's really short.
Let's see. Okay.
It's pretty good.
Did you like it?
It did. Not quite pickleball, but it's close.
It's very close. A brain ball.
All right. Well, okay. So we've got you guys. Okay. We're taking care of the credit thing. Thank you to our Seminole State family, whether you are enrolled and physically here right now in the state of Florida, or you're around the world and you watch and you love us for reasons we don't know, but we're glad that you love us and that you watch us and that you subscribe. If you haven't shared, liked, or subscribed yet, please do so. And we are trying to just spread librarianness all over the world and help students one at a time. And hey, those academics, man, you just can't ignore the impact of the physical activity and exercise. So thank you again to Jeff Nelson from the Raider Center for joining us today on this another magical, fabulous edition of Research Rally. Where's my cheesy video?